This episode of the Ageless and Awesome podcast is sponsored by the Radiant Reset Hormone Detox Guide for Perimenopausal Women. As a woman in the modern world, our hormones are taking a battering. They're impacted by the food we eat, the toxins we're exposed to, such as when we eat out of plastic takeaway containers, or even worse, reheat food in them. Please don't do this. If you're handling FPOS receipts, filling the car with fuel, eating non-organic produce that hasn't been washed effectively, plus so much more things add to our toxic load every day. Even though our bodies are designed to effectively manage toxins, they haven't evolved as quickly as our toxic world has, unfortunately. So our body does need support. Symptoms such as stubborn weight gain, fatigue, disrupted periods, irritability, and gut health issues can be a sign that you'd benefit from a gentle detox. And that's why I developed the Radiant Reset Hormone Detox Guide for Perimenopausal Women. This free guide has an abundance of information to get you started on your very own DIY detox. And if you'd like to upgrade to VIP, it's only $47 for a limited time. I used to sell this program for $247. The upgrade gives you the recipes, including plenty of plant-based options, the meal planner, the shopping list template, the video workshop, and so much more. Click the link in the show notes to learn more now. Take care of your hormones. They are a critical part of your health as a woman. Hi, I'm Susie Garden, and this is the Ageless and Awesome podcast. I'm an age-defying naturopath and clinical nutritionist, and I'm here to bust myths around women's health and aging so that you can be ageless and awesome in your 40s, 50s, and beyond. The Ageless and Awesome podcast is dedicated to helping women through perimenopause and menopause with great health, a positive mindset, and outrageous confidence. Hit subscribe or follow now, and let's get started. Hello, gorgeous one, and welcome to Q&A Thursday with me, Susie. And this question this week is from Amy. Amy is in Perth in Western Australia. And she has asked, why do some people have worse perimenopause symptoms than others? She said she is experiencing worse symptoms than her friends, and she's wondering why. And this is a really common question. I think this is possibly one of the reasons why it can be a little difficult to get really effective treatment for your symptoms, because in medicine, we really like consistency. We like, if someone has a certain medical condition, we want to see certain symptom pictures coming together that tell us, oh yes, that is that medical problem. And we really like that. And when I was a nurse, I remember it was just, you could tell what was wrong with a patient very quickly from their cluster of symptoms. When I started working in natural medicine, where often the kind of patients that I'm seeing are those that have already been through the medical system and they just haven't been able to get any answers to what is going on with them. And it's because often their symptoms are just really outside what is considered the normal, in inverted commas, symptom cluster for a particular medical condition. And I think because, and this is just based on my experience, I guess, and the experience of other practitioners that I speak to and also my clients, is that when those symptoms don't fit into a round hole, if you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole, it won't fit. So if the symptom picture is not exactly what needs to be to fit in that round hole, then it either doesn't get diagnosed as being what it is, or people just get told you're fine. Your blood work looks fine, therefore you're fine. Is something I hear all of the time from my clients, from my new clients, that they're hearing from their doctors. So that, I think, is potentially one of the reasons that there is a real variance, I guess, in the way different doctors approach their women patients that have perimenopause symptoms. And Amy, I'm not sure what's going on with you. I don't know you. I don't know any of the details of why you might be having worse symptoms than your friends, and I don't know what symptoms you're having, but I guess I just wanted to discuss today what are the really severe perimenopause symptoms and, why some people might have worse symptoms than other people, even if they're the same age, and maybe have the same sort of life experience. So what is considered severe symptoms? It's when they affect your ability to carry out your just normal, we used to call it, I don't know if they still call it in nursing, your ADLs, your activities of daily living. So just your normal ability to do the things that you need to get done in your day. And also if it affects your mental health, that's another kind of sign that the perimenopause symptoms are severe. And these can be a myriad of symptoms. A lot of these are ones that you're probably very familiar with, like night sweats, hot flushes, mood swings, irritability. But then there's things like perimenopause anxiety, perimenopause depression, difficulty concentrating, brain fog, memory issues, introducing someone and you've completely forgotten their name, even though they're someone you know quite well, or walking into a room and you really can't remember why you have. Other things are, pain during sex, vaginal dryness, less interest in sex. Some people get heart palpitations, insomnia. Now that can be just debilitating. And I've spoken quite openly about my own battle with sleep. And a lot of people don't really realize that when you have insomnia, that it can be linked to perimenopause, particularly if there aren't those other symptoms accompanying it. I think a lot of doctors think that the reason women in perimenopause have insomnia is because of the night sweats or because of the hot flushes. So if you don't have those, but you have insomnia, they're not necessarily making the link that that can be a perimenopause symptom on its own. So, and that can be incredibly debilitating, and that can lead to things like the brain fog, the memory loss, the concentration issues, the low mood, all of those things, and can make it really difficult to get everything done in your day. Debilitating fatigue is another one. Joint pain. A lot of people don't understand if you have hip pain or shoulder pain in particular, that can be a pretty significant perimenopause symptom. And also getting multiple urinary tract infections. Like it's relatively common for women in their 20s, I guess, particularly if they're having multiple sexual partners to get multiple urinary tract infections. I find that quite common when I'm doing intakes for new clients. And when I've worked in different clinics over the years. But when you're in your 30s, they tend to decrease in frequency, but can often ramp up again in your 40s and 50s. And that can be because of the changes in the microbiome around your genital area, because we have a separate microbiome there. And that happens because of the hormone changes. So, not everyone's going to experience all of the symptoms, but these are probably considered some of the more severe symptoms, in particular if they're interrupting your ability to get everything done in your day that you need to get done. And even just having one of these symptoms that's, intense can definitely be a major issue in terms of interrupting your day, let alone having multiple ones of these, which is what many women have. Now, why do some women have more severe symptoms than others? Well, if you look at it from a research-based point of view, the research, again, because I don't do a lot of research in women, so we don't have a lot of clarity around why some people have worse perimenopause symptoms than others. However, there are a number of factors that seem to contribute, and I certainly see this myself in clinical practice. And one of those, probably one of the main ones, is having a higher body mass index. And that's why, as you probably know, if you've been following me for a while, I do a lot of work with women with weight loss as well as with hormones. And definitely when we see a good amount of fat loss on a body that needs it to reach like what you'd call normal, in inverted commas, BMI, we absolutely see an improvement in perimenopause symptoms in any of them. So definitely maintaining a healthy body weight for your height and for your frame is important. people that drink alcohol, that definitely can increase particularly some of the vasomotor symptoms, such as your hot flashes and the sweating, but it also can really impact sleep. It can actually really impact sleep in people that aren't in peri or menopause. Can often help you get to sleep, but it will interrupt your sleep during the night. So alcohol in perimenopause, unfortunately, doesn't mix very well. The rule of thumb I tend to go for is having 1 or 2 drinks 1 or 2 nights a week is probably sustainable. But just bear in mind, there is not any level of alcohol consumption that is considered healthy. It's a little bit of a myth that red wine has it does have the resveratrol, but the alcohol in it really pretty much kind of cancels out any health benefit you're going to get from drinking the red wine. I'm really sorry. I really wish I could say there's a health benefit, but the more we learn about alcohol, the more we realize there's really no health reason to have it. If you are a current or a former smoker, it's been observed that women that have either been a smoker in the past or are currently smoking will tend to have worse perimenopause and menopause symptoms. If you have other medical conditions such as fibroids in the uterus, adenomyosis, that can worsen symptoms. And also if you go into peri earlier, so an earlier onset seems to predict longer and more severe menopause symptoms. So earlier onset would be sort of mid to late 30s. It might be very early 40s that you have an absolute, a cessation of periods in your early 40s means you've been in peri for longer. But if you're experiencing perimenopause symptoms like at 35 to 40, which is absolutely possible, then it does seem to predict longer and more severe menopause symptoms. Now, also please keep in mind, these factors I've just discussed do not guarantee that you will have severe symptoms. They've been noted as potentially increasing the risk of this, or there's been an association described that in the research. So, Amy, I hope that helps you. If you have a look at those reasons, and maybe some of them might apply to you, that might give you some answers. If you're going, no, none of them apply to me, then, let me know, send me another message, and, that might be really interesting to explore further. So I hope that's been helpful for you and for other people listening. Please, please, please send me through your questions. I love receiving them. It often sends me down pathways of reading and searching through the medical databases. And I love that. I absolutely love it. I'm a nerd at heart and I love looking at all this stuff. So yeah, anything that can help me help you, please let me know because I absolutely adore it. So I hope you're having a great week, that you've got something nice planned just for you on the weekend. I'll be back on Tuesday and I will see you then. Thanks so much for joining me today on the Ageless and Awesome podcast. If you liked today's episode, please make sure you click the little plus button if you're on Apple Podcasts, or the follow button if you're on Spotify, so that you get each new episode delivered to you every week. If you like free stuff, then head to the show notes and click the link to receive my free Radiant Reset Hormone Detox Guide for perimenopausal women. Or if you'd like to continue the discussion, head over to Instagram and DM me at Susie Garden Wellness. I'd love to connect with you.